today. We have to promote the right of employees to be able to collectively bargain for better wages and benefits at home and abroad. There's nothing anti-business about being pro-union. And there's nothing that contributes more to a socially responsible community than workers who know they have a place at the table for some of the key corporate decisions. Under the Bush administration, the federal government has pursued the most strident anti-union policies in memory. I doubt they have appointed one judge who has voted for workers one time in their lifetime. How do they talk then about going to Iraq or anywhere else and spreading democracy, and then tell workers they don't have the right to sign a card and elect a union to bargain for a better wage here in America? Congress needs to finally enact basic labor law reforms, beginning with the Employee Free Choice Act, which preserves the right to just as important, a key part of our foreign policy, which is also domestic policy now, means that we have to promote workers' rights abroad because it's right and because it's the only way to create a level playing field for U.S. exports. American labor understands this. Andy Stern, the head of SEIU, has been to China 6 times in 5 years. As president, George Bush has been there only once. And I'm sure he didn't once mention workers' rights. James Hoffman, the Teamsters Union, sees China as a new front line for the labor movement. He understands that at its worst, the global economy is a race to the bottom that pulls the rug out from under American workers. So we have to make it a race to the top, because globalization isn't going to go away. We need to put our stamp on it and create a fair playing field, because empowering America's workers means stepping up to bat for workers everywhere. When Democrats took over Congress, we said to this president, no more trade deals unless you fight for workers' rights. We held his feet to fire in a trade deal with Peru that does protect workers. But it's not enough to have labor rights or environment standards written on a piece of paper signed in the Rose Garden. We need countries starting to enforce them, and we need a president who actually wants them enforced. 44 years ago, a very different kind of president, John Kennedy, went to Pueblo, Colorado, and assured America that a rising tide would lift all boats. Back then, Pueblo had a steel mine with over 14,000 union workers. Now there are only 1,000. It used to be an industry town. Now it has an industrial museum. Pueblo isn't alone. Look in the Merrimack Valley, which was once the home of our textile industry, with 40,000 mill workers in Lawrence alone. Immigrants who walked a picket line during the winter of 1912 for a fair day's pay. Union members rallied right here in Faneuil Hall to support them. Today, we have a state heritage park in Lawrence, but not enough living wage jobs for the new immigrants who live there. No, we don't live in the same economy that President Kennedy talked about. As he once said, the world is very different now. But the ideal that he spoke of must endure. The economy will never be the same as it once was, my friends, but America always needs to stay true to America. Today, our economy is living on borrowed money and on borrowed time, and both will soon run out if we don't get serious about changing course in Washington. We must end the assault on America's middle class, and we must begin to make our economy fair again. The great American middle class doesn't ask for much, but it counts on certain things. Leadership that honors work as much as wealth. Leaders who will make economic growth not a spectator sport, but a common endeavor. Our mission is as clear, and the cause is just. Healthcare for all, energy independence, a tax code that works for working people. Stop making a mockery of the phrase ownership society. A fair shake for workers who ultimately create our wealth. And a society where of 1776 didn't plead for permission to govern themselves, and they didn't wait to be told by those who misgoverned them what they could do. They acted, and so now must we. Thank you.